Right now, somewhere out there, a heart is thinking about you so hard it almost hurts. And deep down, some part of you already felt it coming. Didn't you? That's not your imagination. That's real. And what I'm about to share with you was written just for this moment. For you, reading these words right now. Before we go any further, I want you to do something small. Type the word, "I feel this," in the comments below. It's a simple way to say, "Yes, I feel this. I'm here. I'm open." Go ahead and do that now, then come back and keep reading because what comes next matters. Dear one who is loved more than you know, the heart of your soulmate is aching right now. And the reason behind that ache is bigger than any small misunderstanding, stronger than any fear, and deeper than words can fully hold. What is breaking this heart is a simple, powerful wish. The wish that things could be different than they are right now. That the distance could close. That the waiting could finally end. Your soulmate is suffering quietly, unable to carry the emptiness of not having you near anymore. Loving you from far away has become too heavy to hold. Imagining a future without you in it feels unbearable. And this ache runs so deep that even the way your soulmate breathes has changed. Even the way they move through their day has shifted, slower, heavier, distracted by thoughts of you. This pain is not about something that already happened. It is about everything that has not happened yet, but should already be part of your shared life. The space between you has turned into pain. The love is still there, still growing, still asking for room to breathe. But now, the wish to live this love beside you is no longer a soft wish. It has become urgent. It pulses every single day, and it can no longer be quietly tucked away. It has grown too big to ignore. Welcome to the Angel's Message for You original channel. Please check the channel name carefully. It's Angel's Message for You. This is our only official channel. Beware of copycat and fake channels. Stay connected to the original source to receive authentic angel messages and true blessings. Before we begin, a heartfelt thank you to Darcel, Gabriel for sowing a seed for Soulmate through your Ko-Fi super thanks. May this seed return to you multiplied with soulmate blessings, divine protection, love, well-being, and abundance. May the angels guide and watch over you every step of your journey. Thank you for your beautiful support. Let's continue with divine message. Your soulmate is trying to move forward, trying to keep up appearances, trying to stay calm on the outside. But inside, everything is stirring. Because what your soulmate feels for you no longer fits neatly into private thoughts or whispered hopes said only in silence. This is someone who needs to look into your eyes, who needs to feel your presence, who needs to step closer through real action, and who wants to do this now because waiting has become too hard to bear. I'm telling you this because this urgency did not appear out of nowhere. It built slowly, gathering strength day after day, and now it has reached its edge. Your soulmate no longer wants to keep loving you from a distance. There is a quiet feeling that if nothing changes soon, this heart may not be able to carry the weight much longer. And no matter how hard your soulmate tries to hide it, the truth still shows in their eyes, in their energy, in the thoughts that keep circling back to you. What your soulmate feels for you is whole. It is real, but it has moved past the point of being only a feeling now. It is ready to become action. And that is exactly what is about to happen. Because your soulmate does not want to keep imagining what it would feel like to have you close. They want to live it. They want to stand beside you. They want to make this love something real, something you can both touch and hold. I want you to understand something clearly. This pain is not hidden or disguised. It shows up every single day while your soulmate imagines what life could feel like with you near. This is not about regret. It is not about doubt. It is simply the ache of distance, the ache of a love that is fully ready but still waiting for its moment to begin. And that kind of waiting hurts more than any words ever could. So much has stirred in recent days. Maybe you have felt it too. A sudden tightness in your chest, a thought that keeps returning no matter how busy you get, a quiet restlessness that is hard to explain in words. All of that comes from one place. Your soulmate is thinking of you with such strength that this energy is reaching you across the distance. It is calling for your attention. It is gently asking you to pause for a moment and feel what is arriving. This truth is being shared with you now because the time has come for this love to step out of the space of longing and into the space of real life. Your soulmate can no longer bear loving you without being able to reach for your hand, without being able to show what they feel through their eyes, without being able to simply have you close. And now all of that is beginning to shift. This is not a request for answers right away. It is a quiet plea for presence, for honesty, for real connection. Your soulmate already knows what they feel, and they already know who they want standing beside them. The reason behind this growing ache has a name, and that name is you. Not because you did anything wrong, but because of everything beautiful you two have not yet had the chance to live together, all the moments that are still waiting for their turn to become real. I need you to receive this with an open heart. What is being shared here matters. It might feel intense, but that is simply how the heart of someone who loves you deeply tends to feel: intense, tired of waiting, and finally ready to move. And if this message has reached you now, it is because something meaningful is getting ready to unfold between you two. This love no longer wants to live only as an idea in someone's mind. It wants to be lived fully in the real world. And you are the only one who holds the key to understanding what that truly means. It is in your hands to soften this ache, to help this love become life, presence, closeness, and truth. Because now, what matters most is no longer only the feeling itself, but what you both choose to do with it. Somewhere out there, someone has been trying so hard to stay strong, even while everything inside them feels like it is quietly coming apart. This person wakes up with a mind full of thoughts of you and falls asleep with a heart that feels heavy. Because something essential feels missing, the experience of living this love beside you. This is not drama. It is not confusion. It is simply the honest truth of someone who feels so deeply that pretending everything is fine has become nearly impossible. In these recent days, your soulmate's heart has been tightening with more and more feeling. The idea of continuing to walk this path alone no longer makes sense to them. And the more time passes, the harder it becomes to hide what hurts. Not being near you, not hearing your voice up close, not being able to say what they feel while looking straight into your eyes. It is quietly breaking this person from the inside, even if no one else around them can see it. This did not come from one moment or one small thing that happened between you. What hurts now is everything that has not yet had the chance to be lived. It feels as if every single day that passes without this love becoming real adds more weight to their chest. Thoughts of you keep pulling closer, not like a distant memory, but like a living, breathing presence. Because this love no longer wants to exist only in the quiet space of longing. Your soulmate's emotions are raw right now. Everything feels a little out of place without you nearby. And even while trying hard to hide it, their eyes still reveal just how deeply this is being felt. The pain stays quiet to everyone else, but for the one carrying it, it runs deep. The distance is slowly turning into something closer to anguish, something that can no longer be tucked away neatly. It's clear this heart feels overwhelmed. Every step feels heavier than it should. Every day without a clear answer brings a little more uncertainty. Because when love is meant to be fully lived but finds no room to breathe, it begins to hurt. Not as punishment, but simply as truth. There comes a point where feeling alone is no longer enough. Loving in silence stops bringing comfort, and that point has arrived. This is not about waiting for some perfect moment. It is not about building expectations for someday. It is about a feeling that wants to be lived right now. Your soulmate is ready, and that is exactly why this hurts as much as it does. The wish to be close to you has crossed every limit it once respected. What used to feel manageable now spills over. Your soulmate is not searching for explanations. What they need is real space beside you, a chance to look at you without hiding anything, to speak honestly from the heart without waiting any longer. And this desire does not come from loneliness. It comes from certainty, because once a heart reaches this point, there is no turning back from it. Please don't think this has been easy for them. Your soulmate tried to hold this love quietly, tried to manage these feelings alone, tried giving time the chance to work things out. But none of that solved what is happening now. Because the more this love has grown, the more painful it has become not to live it fully. This pain has grown, not from disappointment, but simply because the love itself kept growing. You might have noticed a shift inside yourself too, a restlessness you can't quite put into words, a quiet pull to understand what is happening even without knowing exactly what to look for. That is not a coincidence. That is connection. What your soulmate feels for you is strong enough to cross any distance. It reaches you. It makes you feel something even without a clear reason why. This is not simply a wish to be together anymore. It has become a need that feels harder and harder to hold back. The waiting, the distance between two hearts that already know what they feel for each other. All of this has created a kind of emptiness that can no longer be brushed aside. Your soulmate does not want to keep wondering what it would be like. They want to live it. They want you close. They want to stop imagining and start truly feeling. And this pain is not hidden. Even if your soulmate keeps moving through daily life as if nothing is happening inside, everything about them is quietly speaking the truth. Missing you has touched everything, their thoughts, their mood, their sleep, even the light that used to be in their eyes. What once felt light now feels heavy. And that weight has a name: distance. That is why this message is reaching you now, to remind you that you are not the only one who senses something is missing. Your soulmate feels it too, and even more than that, feels it with an intensity that is turning into real urgency. The time for simply enduring this distance has come to an end. Now is the time to look within and understand that this love was never meant to be postponed forever. Nothing else seems able to fill this space. Your soulmate tries to distract themselves, to fill their mind with other things, to avoid sitting with the feeling. But the heart keeps calling, keeps speaking up, because what they feel for you is stronger than any distraction could ever be. And now that truth is asking to step out into the open. It is knocking gently on the door of real life. If you could feel how deeply this distance hurts, you would not hesitate so much. You would understand that this is no longer a small, passing feeling. It is a love that is asking to be truly lived. There is no more room left for guessing. Your soulmate needs to see you, needs to be near you, needs to finally give voice to everything that has been kept quietly inside until now. This pain your soulmate carries does not come from regret or resentment. It comes from the lack of shared life beside the one they love. It comes from the space between two hearts that recognize each other deeply but have not yet been able to fully connect. And when that happens, longing follows, because when two people love each other, they want to be together. When they can't be, the heart begins to feel unwell. Dear soul, before we continue, I want to pause for a moment. If this message has stirred something deep in your heart, remember this. Painful decisions don't always mean love has ended. Sometimes they reveal the healing that must happen before two hearts can truly come together. If you feel led, you can sow a seed for your soulmate journey through Ko-Fi Super Thanks using the link in the description or pinned comment. Let it be your personal prayer that God heals every hidden wound, removes every fear, and gently prepares both hearts for the future He has planned. Thank you for every act of kindness and generosity. May the Lord surround both you and your soulmate with peace, wisdom, healing, and perfect timing. Now know what angels reveal to you. I am sharing all of this with you because this love is quietly aching from the inside. Your soulmate can no longer hide how much they miss you. And now, what matters most is not just what the heart feels, but what is finally being done about it. This pain only exists because the love is still alive. It still beats steadily. It is still waiting patiently for its chance to be lived the right way. I want you to understand something important now. This pain your soulmate carries was not caused by something you did in the past. It is not the result of a mistake or something left unresolved between you. The real reason behind this ache is something more delicate than that. It comes from everything that was never given the chance to be lived between you two. From a love that kept growing but never found its moment to become real. Your soulmate is not holding resentment toward you. What weighs on their heart is simply the longing that never turned into something lived. It is a feeling that stays strong but cannot yet find the space it needs to be expressed the way it deserves. It is watching time pass and realizing that the love remains steady and true, yet still distant from the one thing that matters most to them: you. What hurts this heart most is not painful memories. It is the waiting, the space between what is already felt and what still hasn't happened. Because when someone loves deeply but only gets to feel it without living it, the heart slowly begins to wear thin. And that is exactly what is happening now for the one who loves you. It was never about expecting promises. What hurts is simply the absence of everything this love longs to experience. Connection, honesty, closeness. The dream of being with you has stayed alive through every obstacle. But now that longing has grown so large that it has turned into real ache. Because love needs room to breathe. And when that room does not open up, what once felt light begins to feel heavy. Your soulmate does not blame you or judge you. They simply feel, and they feel everything all at once. The love they carry for you never stopped growing, even without being nurtured every single day. And maybe that is exactly why the ache has grown stronger, because loving quietly, alone, for too long wears down the heart, the eyes, even hope itself. Every unsaid word, every step not yet taken, every path the two of you haven't walked together, all of it has stayed there, quietly building inside the heart. And now that has turned into real weight. What was meant to unfold naturally has become urgent, not because your soulmate is rushing, but because this feeling can no longer wait quietly in the background. You might think that time has softened this love, but it has done the opposite. Time has helped it grow, made it stronger, confirmed it as real. Yet confirmation without action brings its own kind of pain. Because once a heart fully understands what it feels, it can no longer live only on hope and expectation. It needs to live, to see, to hear, to truly feel. Your soulmate does not need your answers right away, only the space to come closer, and they are trying to do that in the most respectful way they know how. But the feeling has grown so strong that it no longer fits quietly inside thoughts. It overflows through their eyes, through their presence, through actions that haven't happened yet, but are already quietly being prepared. If you are the reason behind this ache, it is also because you are the only one who can bring this heart peace. No rehearsed words are needed here. What your soulmate wants most is to feel you open, reachable, willing to see in you the doorway this love has always hoped to walk through. You might wonder what you could have done differently, but this was never about that. It is not about what is behind you. It is about everything that has not yet been lived, but is ready to begin now. This love does not ask for long explanations. It asks for action, for the space to finally show everything it carries without fear of being misunderstood. What is coming is not something small. It carries months, maybe years of quiet waiting, of unspoken plans, of feelings that were carefully protected while they were still forming. But now there is no more need to hide. Everything is ready to happen. All that is missing is for you to notice and to allow it. Your soulmate feels they have reached the point where pretending everything is fine is simply no longer possible, because this love was never meant to stay trapped in the invisible. It longs to be lived with real presence, with closeness, with action, and everything is ready to be given. When someone reaches this point, it stops being about waiting. It becomes about deciding, about being willing to do whatever it takes to be near the one they love. And that decision has already been made. Now, what your soulmate wants most is to find some kind of response within you, not necessarily through words, but through the heart, a gentle sign that there is still room for everything that is about to unfold. This love does not want to promise a fairy tale. It only wants the chance to be respected, the chance to truly exist. Because the feeling that has grown inside the one who loves you was never born from fantasy. It was born from faith, from surrender, from the quiet certainty that something truly special can be built between you two. You may not have noticed, but in these recent days, something inside you has probably started to shift too. A strange feeling, a sudden pull to understand what is happening around you, a need for clarity you can't quite explain. All of this is a response to the energy your soulmate has been quietly sending out. Because when love is real, connection happens, even through silence and distance. Loving in silence was manageable for a while, continuing simply to feel, to imagine, to hope that one day everything could finally happen. As hard as it was, your soulmate carried it. But now, what was once bearable has turned into real ache. And that ache comes precisely because this love has grown, gathered strength, and no longer accepts staying far from the one it longs for so deeply. What lives inside your soulmate's heart no longer fits quietly inside thought alone. It finds no comfort in longing by itself anymore. And every time your soulmate closes their eyes and thinks of you, the distance feels heavy. Their body feels it. Their mind cannot fully rest, because loving from far away is no longer enough. It does not fill the space that is missing. Every moment of quiet heartache, every attempt to distract themselves that didn't quite work, every night where sleep came slowly because thoughts kept circling back to you. It was in these moments that your soulmate understood there is no longer any point in denying what they truly feel. And that is why the choice has been made. Something has to change. You may not have noticed yet, but small signs may already be appearing around you. Subtle shifts, quiet approaches, a new kind of energy moving through your days. All of this reflects someone getting ready to take action, someone drawing closer even before finding the exact right words. Because this love no longer wants to live under the shadow of uncertainty. Your soulmate wants to be present, to be somewhere you can see, feel, and recognize that this love is more alive now than it has ever been. And this is not about demanding anything from you. It is about truth, about a desire that refuses to stay quiet any longer, even from the one feeling it. Holding all of this inside has been hurting your soulmate deeply, and now it is time to let it out into the light. This approach may not arrive with big speeches or perfectly planned words, but it will come with real presence, with a steady, honest gaze, with truth moving through every part of who they are. And you will feel it. You will know something is different because the way your soulmate comes closer will carry everything that has quietly built up until now. And all of that has one name: love. Your soulmate knows this approach might not be perfect, might meet a few bumps along the way, but none of that outweighs the certainty of what is truly felt. And when someone reaches this level of surrender, taking action stops being optional. It becomes something necessary, a way to breathe freely again, a way to keep this love alive. You may not fully realize how hard this decision was for your soulmate, but it truly was. They have faced doubt, fear, and uncertainty, yet none of it was strong enough to silence what lives inside them. The love they carry for you is simply too big to stay hidden any longer. And now it is beginning to take shape. What is coming will not be rushed. It will be brave. It will be carried out with the strength of someone who has decided to give this love a real, honest chance. And even without any guarantees, your soulmate is ready to face whatever it takes to reach you. Because living without knowing whether this love could become real has become too hard to carry. This is not a final, desperate attempt. It is simply the natural next step for someone who can no longer deny what they feel. And you will sense it because this approach will not feel like the others before it. It will carry a different kind of weight. The weight of a feeling that has stayed hidden for far too long and is now ready to be placed gently in front of the only person who can truly give it meaning: you. What is approaching is not just a small change or a simple crossing of paths. It is the answer to everything that has been quietly felt in recent times. Your soulmate has made their decision, and what was once only a wish has now turned into real action. And even if you cannot yet clearly see the signs, something has already quietly begun to move, gently but firmly, and you should be ready for it. Your soulmate is not coming to you empty-handed. They are bringing everything they once carried in silence, everything they held back out of fear that the timing wasn't right, everything they dreamed of living with you but had to pause because of circumstances that hurt you both. Now, all of that is rising to the surface, stronger, more urgent, and finally ready to happen. And when it reaches you, it will not ask for permission first. It will arrive with real intensity. That is why your recent days may have felt a little different, more sensitive, more confusing, filled with feelings you couldn't quite explain. There is a reason for that. Your soulmate's energy is reaching you. It is quietly telling you that it is no longer possible to keep everything hidden away. It is gently preparing you, even without you fully realizing it, for a moment that could completely change how you see this love. You won't have to guess when the time comes, because what is about to happen will not stay hidden. It will arrive through real action. You will see it in their eyes, in their words, in the steadiness of their heart. This love no longer wants to stay silent. It wants to be lived with respect, with surrender, with all the honesty that has been postponed for far too long. You might feel like you're not ready, but the truth is, everything around you has quietly been guiding you toward this moment. Those random thoughts that pop up out of nowhere, the sudden urge to wonder what your soulmate is doing, the feeling that something important is drawing near, all of it is your heart responding to a connection that is already gently unfolding. That is why it helps to stay open and aware, because when this love knocks at your door, it will bring truths you may not have expected to hear. It will show you feelings that never actually died. They simply waited quietly for the right moment to be revealed. And that moment has arrived, not because it was carefully planned, but because it matured in its own timing, inside the heart of someone who still believes in the two of you. Your soulmate does not want confusion between you. They want clarity. They want to show, through real action, just how deeply they feel and how impossible it has become to keep ignoring it. And if you still carry something for this person, even if it feels buried deep inside you, you will feel it stir again. Because a love like this, when it approaches with sincerity, tends to move something inside all of us. You don't need to have every answer right now. You only need to stay open, to listen, to look into your soulmate's eyes, and to notice how alive this feeling still is, how carefully it has been protected, how gently it has been kept, and how this offering now comes with real courage, the courage of someone who no longer wants to live halfway. Be ready to feel a little surprised, because what is coming will not be an ordinary conversation. It will be something filled with emotion, with truths that have been quietly stored away for a long time. And when your soulmate speaks, it will not come from doubt. It will come with the certainty of someone who tried to move forward, yet realized the love they feel for you still beats just as strongly as ever. The ache of not having lived this love yet still lingers. But now, what your soulmate wants most is to stop losing time, to speak honestly, and to be received with real openness. Because what is about to happen has been quietly hoped for a long time. And now it is finally ready to become real. Dear soul, before we continue, I'd like to invite you to do something truly meaningful for your soulmate journey. The bond between soulmates is precious, and at times, it can feel vulnerable to negativity, envy, or the evil eye from the world around us, even when no harm is intended. If your heart is calling you to cover this connection with an extra layer of love, faith, and protection, you can sow your seed for your soulmate through Ko-Fi Super Thanks. You'll find the Ko-Fi link in the video description and the pinned comment. This simple act can become a heartfelt expression of your intention, inviting the angels to watch over your soulmate connection, surround it with divine light, and guide it as it continues to grow in the right time and in the right way. You may feel a little nervous. You may wonder whether you should open that door. But please remember, this love has already survived so much to still be standing here now. It did not reach this point by chance. It is here because it is real. And when something this true stands in front of you, all it asks for in return is honesty. Not a perfect answer, simply a genuine one. Your soulmate isn't expecting promises from you. They are hoping for your presence, for you to show up whole, open, and real, because everything they have to offer isn't a rough draft. It is something already shaped by time, by heart, by every part of a soul that still believes in the two of you. What is coming will ask a little more from you than words alone. It will ask for presence, for clarity, for a real choice. And even if it feels like a lot to take in, you will know what to do, because when love arrives with this kind of intensity, it becomes impossible not to recognize it. It's as if something quietly wakes up inside us and gently whispers, "The time has come." The feeling your soulmate carries for you was never meant to stay only as a memory. It was never built to remain silent or hidden among passing thoughts. This love wants to exist, not just as something imagined, but as a real part of everyday life. It wants to be felt, spoken, experienced fully, because it no longer fits comfortably inside memories or assumptions. For a long time, your soulmate tried to believe it was possible to simply endure, that the feeling was strong enough to survive even without ever being fully lived. But now everything has shifted. What was once only a quiet desire has become urgency. What was once an ideal has turned into something necessary. And the only thing that can truly ease this ache now is your real presence, shown through action, through openness, through devotion. Your soulmate is tired of only imagining what it would feel like to be close to you. Tired of having conversations only in their mind, of planning moments that never actually happened. This heart can no longer live only on imagination. It wants you here, sharing the days, the little routines, the dreams, building a story that becomes more than just a beautiful thought kept quietly inside. Time has shown that this feeling was never just a passing whim. It was never a phase. Took root. And when something roots itself this deeply, it starts to need space to grow. Your soulmate needs to feel there is solid ground for this love to bloom beyond memory alone. Because as precious as those memories are, they are simply no longer enough. What your soulmate feels now is different. It is stronger. It carries the certainty that pretending everything is fine is simply no longer possible. Because what hurts most is not what already happened. It is everything that has not happened yet. Everything that could be lived right now, but is still waiting for room to exist. And despite every effort to stay strong, your soulmate has reached their limit. They can no longer quiet the longing to be near you. They can no longer find reasons to keep everything hidden. The love your soulmate feels for you has grown past the point of containment. And now, all it wants is to be met with actions that finally make sense. You don't need to make any promises. You only need to be honest. Take a moment, look inside your own heart, and notice whether you feel ready to let this love happen, because it is already standing right in front of you. And this time, it doesn't want to be just another memory. It wants to become part of your everyday life, your choices, your routine. It wants to be everything the two of you haven't lived yet, but truly deserve to. Your soulmate isn't expecting perfection from you, only truth, a willingness to walk beside them, an openness to building something real, a choice not to run from what you feel or turn away when this love comes knocking gently on your door. Because this feeling has a name, a direction, and that direction is you. Everything your soulmate has carried until now was never wasted. It happened because they believed that one day, this love would finally be seen for exactly what it truly is. And now that moment has come. What was once patience has turned into urgency. What was once silence has turned into a need to speak. And what was once quietly contained love now needs to be lived, fully and openly. You have never been forgotten, not for a single day. This love never fell asleep. It was only waiting for the right moment to reveal itself with its full strength. And that moment is now. Life is gently offering you the chance to see what has been in front of you all along. Not as a distant dream, but as a real possibility, a choice that is genuinely within your reach. So make room, not only in your thoughts, but in your actual life, because your soulmate is coming toward you with truth in their eyes, with real feeling in every part of who they are, with the quiet determination of someone who no longer wants to live halfway. And when that energy reaches you, you will feel something shift. You will feel that what once seemed like a distant dream is finally within your grasp. But for that to truly happen, you must choose. You must allow it in. You must show up fully, because this love will no longer stay hidden. It will not wait quietly for you to guess. It will reveal itself clearly. And all it asks in return is that you be present, that you allow this feeling the space to fully come to life. This love was built with sincerity, held together over time, and made stronger by the absence of easy answers. Not because there was a lack of will, but because there was simply too much feeling to contain. And when something like this finally finds room to be lived, there is no turning back from it. You were the reason your soulmate kept going, kept fighting day after day without giving up. You were the name they tried to set aside in their mind, but their heart refused to let go. You became the memory that grew into hope, and now into something they truly need. Take a quick second before we move forward. Many channels are reposting and copying our content, but authentic energy cannot be duplicated. For the strongest positive connection and divine guidance, always listen from the original Angel's Message for You channel with the black logo base. Now, let's continue with the message your angels want you to hear. And even though life has taken you both down different paths for a while, nothing has erased what was felt between you. If anything, it has made it even clearer how much this love needs space to finally happen. None of this would be shared with you now if it weren't ready to be lived. There is no confusion in this feeling, only the quiet urgency of someone who can no longer carry it alone. Your soulmate does not want to interfere with your life. They want to add something meaningful to it. They want to come toward you with respect, with real action, with clarity. And all of that is only possible because the feeling they carry for you never lost its strength. The way this love approaches you may not follow any script. It might arrive simply, directly, but it will touch you deeply. It will move something inside you. Because when love is true, it does not need long explanations. It reveals itself through the eyes, through presence, through words spoken with the certainty of someone who no longer needs to hide. You may feel like you still need more time to fully understand all of this, and that is completely okay. But please know that the time your soulmate has already waited has already been long enough. What is arriving now is not pressure. It is surrender, a gentle way of showing you that there is still time, that there is still something meaningful between you both, worth living, if you are willing to make space for it. There is no single perfect way to love someone, but there comes a moment when the heart simply needs to be heard. And your heart is being called right now, because this love no longer wants to live in uncertainty. It wants a real home. It wants to be part of your life, fully, honestly, completely. If you feel something stir inside you, even something small, please don't hide it. Don't put it off. Don't treat it like something fleeting. Take a moment to look at everything shared here and notice how much this love is still breathing, how much it has endured, and how ready it is to become real beside you. All it needs now is genuine space to exist. Please remember, your soulmate isn't reaching for you because they feel lost. They are reaching for you because they found in you a feeling they could never quite replace. And when someone chooses to move closer, even through their own fear, it is because they love with real depth. They love with honesty. They love with the courage of someone who has come to realize that living without you no longer feels bearable. You have been gently reminded. You have been touched by this. This message has reached you for a reason. Now the choice rests in your hands. You don't need to have every answer today, but it helps to understand that the love your soulmate feels for you is more alive right now than it has ever been. And if you also long for this love deeply, don't let it fade away while waiting for a step that only you can take. Stay open in the coming days, because something meaningful may happen soon. And it won't be by chance. It will be the natural reflection of everything shared here. And when it happens, remember this message because it reached you at the right time, in the right way, with the truth your heart needed to hear. And now it's up to you. If any part of this touched something inside you, I invite you to sit quietly for a moment and simply notice how your body feels. Notice your breath. Notice whatever comes up without judging it. Sometimes the deepest truths arrive quietly, almost like a whisper, and all they ask of us is that we pause long enough to listen. You are allowed to hope again. You are allowed to believe that something beautiful might still be waiting for you. And whatever unfolds next, know that you are supported, you are seen, and you are never truly walking this path alone. May you feel peace today, and may your heart stay open to all the good that is still on its way to you. Dear beautiful soul, this angel's message for you channel is a sacred spiritual home, created for faith, healing, and divine guidance. A place where hearts awaken and lives are gently transformed through divine messages. We warmly invite you to subscribe and stay connected, because the divine is always preparing something greater for your journey, something you are meant to receive in divine timing. If you feel moved to support this mission, you can sow your seed here for your soulmate blessings and divine love fulfillment. Your contribution is not just support. It is an energetic agreement with love, healing, and divine alignment in your own life. When you give with intention, it opens doors. Love flows more freely, happiness expands, and abundance multiplies in unexpected ways. Many believe that giving in faith activates a return of peace, joy, and emotional fulfillment in relationships and life. Whether it is $11, $22, $33, or $55, your generosity helps us continue spreading these divine messages of hope, healing, and soulmate guidance across the world. Every seed sown into this mission helps hearts heal, faith return, and souls reconnect with love. This is more than a channel. It is a movement of light, unity, and divine timing. Your support allows this sacred work to grow, touching lives that are searching for answers, comfort, and spiritual direction. We are all connected in this journey, and together we rise as one community under divine love. Let us open our hearts to the abundance that is already on its way. Amen.